So this is part one of our adoption story because we don't have kids yet. We are kind of middle end of the process. We have one more meeting and then we get to meet the kids.
We had been thinking about adoption, really, and talking about it before we got married and all of that, but really seriously last November.
We got to the point where we're like, it's time to quit making excuses. That people would say, well, the time's never gonna be right. And they're absolutely right. You can't wait for finances to be perfectly in order and jobs to be perfectly in order and family to be perfect. It's not gonna happen. It's never gonna happen. And so it was time to recognize that and take the first step.
There's a daughter and 2 sons. And so, we'll be their parents, and it's crazy, and just learning so much about them over the last few days. There is this love that is growing more and more, and we're like, oh yeah, we're gonna have a daughter and 2 sons.
A very important verse to us is 1 John 3:18. Let us not love with words or tongue, but with actions and in truth. Christ loved us to the point of death. And who are we to say that we can't be inconvenienced a little bit in showing love? Because there's just so many opportunities out there to do so.
I think going through life, we have no idea the kind of stuff that the Lord is going to bring us through, and He loves us with all of the icky stuff there, and knows all the icky stuff that's going to happen in the future, and all the mistakes that we're going to make. And He's still just like, I love you so much. It doesn't even matter all the other stuff and everything. I don't think He really sees it in a way,
I would say if people say we don't want to have kids of our own, we're gonna, because they're gonna be our own kids. And to say that they're not is to say that you're not a kid of God, because we're all adopted sons and daughters equally in the kingdom. And so those kids are gonna be our kids just as much as if they were our biological kids.
This whole conversation about adoption it's been very organic. It's happened so many times in conversations with clients, with potential clients, with family members and stuff like that. And so we have a wedding photography business. And so when I sit down to talk with brides, it always just naturally ends up coming up and everything. And it's always really well received. They're always really interested about that. And I always bring it back to the gospel.
When you're showing that you're living it out, they want to know more. They want to hear the story, they want to hear about it, and then that naturally leads into, especially with adoption, how we're all adopted by Christ, and it's just a natural segue.